35-day dry aged honey habanero snack sticks on the Pro Smoker Pro Max 100S Smokehouse. 24 hours ago, I removed some beef shoulder muscles from my Reserve 50 dry ager, and I removed it, got it over here to where I could work on it, removed the pellicle. After removing the pellicle, I went ahead and cut all this up into pieces that will easily fit into my grinder. Then I added in the salt and the cure, and I mixed that in well with a little small amount of water so I could get good coverage on all pieces. I covered it with plastic wrap. I put it in the refrigerator. It's been sitting there for 24 hours. Currently, I have it in the freezer getting even colder. I want this right at the verge of freezing to where we get a really good grind on it, and we're getting ready to do that right now. Oh boy, it got really dark overnight. That's the salt and the cure. 24 hours later, it went from ruby red to that color right there. Now, once these blades starts chopping all this up, you'll see that ruby red come right back. All right, I'm at 31 degrees. We are good enough. And so you know what I ended up with as far as weight is 3 pounds, 11 ounces. Now, I'm going to list this recipe in percentages. And when I say percentages, I'm referring to the weight, percentages of the total weight of the meat. That's how you figure your seasonings, your cure, your salt, your water, everything. 10 millimeter plate to begin with. We will do 2 grinds on this. That looks about it. I'm gonna take a little bit, put back into the throat to push that last little bit through. So I've already pre-mixed all of my seasoning. And keep in mind the salt and the cure is already in here. So I'm gonna go ahead and add all this in, and this is everything I've got inside of this seasoning. You don't want to work this too much. You don't really want to get any protein extraction at this point. I'm gonna go ahead and transfer this into a small pan, get it right back in the freezer. Easy peasy. I have swapped out my front plate to a 4.5 millimeter. Getting ready to load this hopper up, and we're gonna do our second and final grind. Nice fat on there. This is turning out really well. I believe that's about all she wrote. I'm gonna go ahead and dig out what little bit might still be up in here. It's not gonna be much. And there we go there. I don't wanna waste any of it. Now, just a word of advice, when you have these little plates, really any plates, go ahead, if you got a sprayer on your sink, spray all this out before it has time to get dry, because trust me, it is impossible to clean once you let it dry. All right, so last night I added around 32 grams of water into this. And I'm gonna tell you now, there is no set amount. People tell you 10%, but we're dealing with snack sticks that are incredibly hard to stuff sometimes. And you don't want this to be a real tight mixture. You want it to be loose. But I'm gonna go ahead and do the whole 10%, and I'm gonna take a look and see if I think I should go more. Now, this is ice cold water. Keep everything nice and cold. And we're just like the last video, I'm having to work this with my hands. And we're just gonna keep working this until we get protein extraction. I'm not adding a binder into this, and I'll adjust the water if I see fit, and I'll let you know if I add any additional water. This meat was dry aged. When you dry age meat, you're removing moisture, and a lot of it. Meat can actually lose like close to 50% of its original weight by dry aging, depending on how big it is. And that's starting to feel pretty good, but I'm gonna go ahead and I'm just sitting here working this all in, trying to get all this moisture in there, and we're starting to get this protein extraction right where I want it. Oh yeah, that's feeling good there. And if you watched in my previous videos, you always know when you get good protein extraction, just take and get you some on your hand. If it'll stick to your hand like that right there, you're good enough. So I'm nowhere gonna fill this capacity up. This holds 33 pounds. I got roughly 4 pounds here. But we're gonna go ahead and get this in this stuffer. And like always, I pack it with my fist down in the bottom to eliminate as many air pockets that might be in there. I'm using 21 millimeter collagen casings. These came from PS Seasoning. I get all my casings from PS Seasoning. And we'll cut that about right there. So I never tie a knot on these kind of casings. I just pinch it until it gets going. All right, that's all of it right there. It's not bad. Like I said, I didn't make much. This was more of a trial run just to try this dry aged beef out to see how it tastes on here. We're gonna put smoke on it in the morning. And for tonight, I'm just simply gonna coil this up the best I can on some wire racks and put it in the refrigerator overnight to dry out the casings a little. And we'll get it on the smoker first thing in the morning. All right, it is the following morning. I have just loaded up the beef sticks and I'm doing a 1 hour dry cycle at 100 degrees. I'm almost there at 99 degrees. Open it up real quick just to show you. I had to cut them down to shorter pieces and just get them hung up in there. And as you can see, I've got a probe stabbed in this one, and I hope that one doesn't fall because it kind of ripped that casing when I jabbed that in there. I also got some foil in the bottom for any kind of drippage to make for easier cleanup. All right, let's close her up. I have to keep my eye on that one. If it decides to break in half, then I'll have to put a grate in there and go ahead and lay that one on a grate. All right, we have gotten our 100 degrees. This will fluctuate a few degrees above, a few degrees below. Let me quickly tell you what my smoke schedule is going to be. I'm going 100 degrees for an hour. And then at the hour mark, I will bring this up to 125, and I will do that for an hour and a half, but I'll also start introducing smoke at that time. I'll take and fill this up about 1/4 of the way full. This is not a lot of beef sticks, don't need a lot of smoke. And I'll do that at 125 degrees. We'll do that for an hour and a half, and then I'm going up to 135 for an hour. When I turn this up to 135 degrees, I will also be filling up the water reservoir at that point. Then I'll go up to 155 for an hour. Then I'll go up to 160 for about an hour. Then I'll finish them off at 175 until they reach an internal temp of 155 degrees or higher. I have a feeling these are going to be outstanding. I will know here in a little while, and I will be shocking these in an ice bath just like I do all my sausage. That mainly just helps stop all that shrinkage, because if you let them cool naturally just on their own, they'll start shriveling up. If you shock them, they'll kind of hold that plumpness to them. But I'll get them inside, dry them off, and we'll give you a taste inside. I would say probably another hour, hour and a half. There is the final result. Looks fantastic. Now, I would be lying if I told you I hadn't already tried these. I have. The casing has adhered to this meat, got a nice bond on that. Good texture on this. It's not crumbly at all. It's got a nice pinkish color to it. Absolutely fantastic. But I do have to do the official taste test. Here we go. Oh yeah, man. Perfect. It's got a nice little heat level to it, but it's not bad at all. My wife loved them, and if she can handle that heat, then hey, it's not bad. But with that said, the recipe, I will supply a recipe. You can adjust the habanero chili flakes and the chipotle pepper however you want. If you want it hotter, you can go hotter, or you can go less. Totally up to you. I cannot speak highly enough about the Reserve 50 Dry Ager by Pro Smoker and the Pro Max Smokehouse by Pro Smoker. They have come out with 2 fabulous products this fall. And I know it's right here before Christmas. If you're into this sort of thing, I would definitely give these a look. I'll have links for that as well if you just want to go over there and check them out, check out prices, see what their options are, whatever the case may be. I'll have them linked below. Hope y'all enjoyed it, and thanks for watching.